It's exactly 2 o'clock, folks. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask Representative Elps if he'll do the opening prayer for us, please.
May we pray. Merciful God, we ask your blessings upon the assemblage in this room today and upon the efforts that are being brought forth. Grant us the wisdom, the courage to just run to the rightness in this world. Continue to lend your guidance and support to us. We ask you to lay a hand of leadership upon all, and we will petition these in your most holy of names. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Okay, we've got 2 bills that Senator Hill is carrying. First bill is Senate Bill 98, and we have a committee substitute for that. And I'm going to call on Representative Taylor to present that bill, please. Do you have a copy of that?
I do not.
Okay. Would y'all be sure that the Senator has a copy of that bill? Wait until he gets it, and then we'll get started. What's your number? 22?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have your substitute. It would be number LC256394S. And this is to amend Articles 1 of Chapter 24, Title 33. And it's relating to insurance, so generally to provide definitions and to make a few changes that were needed. Under Section 1, we added lines 13 through 25. And in Section 2, there had been changes on line 37 and 38 and 40 and 41.
You want to explain, tell him what those are?
I can't find.
Yeah, give her that.
The Section 1 deals with the exchanges, and it contains only a small change, and this was suggested by Legislative Counsel on line 14. It strikes the confusing language to clarify that this section applies to state exchanges created under the Affordable Care Act. If the state chooses to establish these exchanges, no coverage for abortion services will be offered except in case of medical emergencies. Section 2, it's the same subject matter as HB 1066. And it is replaced with almost the exact language as in the House bill. Section 2 codifies what the Department of Community Health Board decided last fall, that the state health benefit plan will not cover elective abortion. It mandates that the state health benefit plan will not cover any abortion services except those allowed by DCH as of January 1st, 2014, which includes an exception for medical emergency as defined in the Women's Right to Know Act. It removes Section 3 of the Senate bill. The proposed substitute will fulfill the House commitment from last year. Senate Bill 98 uses clear, thoroughly vetted language and codifies the restrictions approved by the DCH board.
Okay, well, then, Senator, are you having any questions, or anybody on the committee have a question?
I've got a few because this is the first time I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
So my first purpose is to make sure that this is consistent with the bill that came out of the Senate.
What this does, I think, like she said, and we've been working on this bill for several days, codifies what your legislation did and what the governor, his executive order.
But one of my concerns, and I need clarification, is I recognize that throughout 2013, that the state health benefit plan allowed for abortions in the state of Georgia, and then the governor came in and made changes, and I'm not certain that I just don't know. I want to make sure that we're not doing what we did in 2013, which is I was confirmed with the Department of Community Health this morning that abortions were allowed in the state of Georgia in 2013. Well,
this bill, as yeah, well, this bill just says that if you look at line 38, is the, and I think it's pretty much what the executive order from the governor did, what regulations were in existence on January 1st, 2014.
Is there a reason for the change? Because I think that what we did out of section 2 of the bill that came out of the Senate did that, and I'm just trying to clear the minutes. That's up. I'm not sure that.
Well, what we did, we took a look at that, at your original 98, and with legislative council's guidance and a bunch of other attorneys, took a look at this, and this is the version that came up with, and it was what was in effect on January 1st.
And all due respect to the chairman and the committee members, I'd like to hear some discussion, because I'm not going to offer advice pro or con to something I've just looked at for a couple minutes, and I'm trying to read through and listen to you at the same time.
Well, does anyone on the committee have any comments they'd like to make on this particular bill? What's your number? 9? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Really, just for my own clarification, if I understand lines 37 and 38, it is codifying the DCH regulation as it existed on January 1, 2014.
Correct.
What I think I understand is that it doesn't provide for there to be alteration from that it simply takes the regulation, codifies it, but my sense is that it doesn't allow DCH to go beyond that. Is that a correct statement?
That's correct, and that was based on the executive order issued by the governor.
But, Mr. Chairman, I wanted to just confirm that with Chairman Hill as he reads it as well, because I'm looking at this for the first time as well. My sense of it is that it's drafting cleanup, but just to confirm, that's how I read that. Senator, are you reading that the same way I am?
Yeah, I think so. I'm just
cautious
as we cautious as we change some of the definitions here when I haven't had a chance to look at it. So don't hear objections, but don't hear support. I know y'all been working on it for a few days, but I've just seen it recently, and I'm always cautious on sensitive matters such as this one before us. What I don't want to see happen, and it doesn't look to the case, but I'd like to hear legal advice, that this does not give discretion to DCH to continue to make changes, but it just codifies what's in existence.
Well, that's what it said, because the rules or regs of the board as such as existed on January the 1st.
And on that day was the date, is it correct that on that day was the date that the governor's decision was effective, and that's to restrict
I don't remember the date that his was effective, but I know it was issued last year.
Because I confirmed this morning from the Commissioner, Department of Community Health, that last year abortions were allowed under the State Health Benefit Plan. I just want to make sure that the language here makes a change to that, because that was the intent of my original legislation.
That's what, yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, that was before the DCH reg went into effect, correct? Okay. Just to be clear, I mean.
I believe.
Okay.
So
that's my understanding as well, but I'm going to reserve the right to be wrong.
That's the caution in my voice is
right.
I haven't confirmed if I can take a look at some of my emails too from them this morning, but that's the caution is I don't know, I believe, and I would, in all due respect to the chair, believe your advice to be obviously true. The caution is I haven't seen it in writing, so I'm.
Well, what I'm looking at here is the exact same thing you're looking at, based on the rules and regs that were in existence as of January 1st.
I just don't have a copy of those.
I don't either.
That's why I'm cautious.
Yeah.
But if we find, if it were the will of the chair and the committee to pass this out and find that the rules and regs are not clear to that effect on January 1st of 2014, then.
Well, I think as it relates to time.
Yes, sir.
What's the date? Day.
I know.
Thursday's day 38. So, yeah, and we have 2 days after that. So as it relates to time, I think we're going to pretty much have to go with as
Yes,
it's
sir.
currently written. Does anyone else on the committee have a question, comment, or? Okay. What's your number? 1? Okay.
I apologize for being tardy. This is, of course, different from what we had previously been looking at. So are these changes going to go into effect immediately? Because it says, it doesn't say, but we're changing the health benefit plan, and are we going to change it in the middle of a plan year? Or
Well, this just codifies what the governor's executive order did last year,
And if I may,
and and these rules were in effect as of January 1st of this year.
Chairman, if I may, to answer the question, this would not change in the middle of a plan year. It would be effective for the next plan years moving forward, is what I've understand from the Commissioner, Department of Community Health.
And what exactly are we fixing if the rules and regs are already in place? Why does it have to be codified?
The reason my intent is the reason it should be codified is because we may not have the same governor, or the governor could change his mind along the way, and I believe it's important that we not fund or subsidize abortions with taxpayer dollars. This doesn't change the definitions of abortion at all. It's not an abortion bill. It's a funding bill. And since 1976, the federal government has precluded the public taxpayers funding of abortions, and that's the purpose behind it, is to make that the law of the state as opposed to just provided by executive order.
Okay. I don't see any more buttons pushed. I guess it's time for a vote then. You got a move and a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign? No. Okay, raise your hand. All opposed? 2. I think it carried.
Standing up for women in Georgia.
I'd appreciate, this is a formal hearing, and that's what I'd like to keep it like. All right, you have another bill, too.
Yes, sir, I do. This one is short and brief. Under the state health benefit plan for a number of years, state employees, teachers, and others have had the opportunity to choose to select a low premium health insurance plan. They come with high deductibles. Under the federal law, they allow the individual to create a health savings account, which is similar to a health care IRA. Many of y'all may have actually taken advantage of those. You can put money aside up to about $6,500 or so a year. For a family, it rolls over from year to year. It's your own dollars. You choose it the way you wish for health care reasons. I think inadvertently, as we move forward and made some changes in the state health benefit plan, the option was not provided as it's allowed under federal law. Working with the Department of Community Health, and just as an aside, I chair the overview committee of DCH, which is working with them. I thought it wise to be able to offer as a choice to state employees the opportunity to select a plan that offers a health savings account. It comes with a federal tax savings. It's basically above-the-line tax benefit credit to individuals of around $1,500 per year, with the mounting escalating cost of health insurance. $1,500 extra a year in your own pocket, I think, is extremely helpful. Right now, it's not allowed under the state health benefit plan because of some of the changes, and this would put it into law that we would offer our state employees who do such great work the opportunity to invest money aside in their own private account. So that's the purpose of the legislation.
Okay. Number 17.
I'm sorry, that was the previous question.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. Sorry I missed you. Okay. Does anyone have a question for the sponsor? Okay. Well, I got. Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, like sign. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the House, and look forward to seeing you momentarily on The other side of the building. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am. Hold on, folks.
I apologize for my tardiness, but on the SB 98, I just want to let the members know that my disappointment that we didn't hear from people who were concerned about that bill, and I think we can do a little bit better than that. I know that people have very strong feelings about it one way or the other, and you know, this is something that we want to do in our insurance code and not have a lot of discussion or a circus of any kind, but I think we could be a little bit more open, and that's just my opinion, and I appreciate your indulgence.
Well, I think they would have probably had adequate time at committee meetings over in the Senate. Thank you. Meeting's adjourned.